Hello everyone, Cooper here from JP Willman Realty, and today I want to give you a little bit of, try to give you a little bit of insight into what the real estate buyer's journey looks like. If you're a sales or marketing person, you know the phrase buyer's journey well because it's kind of what you focus all of your strategy and understanding on in terms of theory, understanding the way people shop, the way people make their decisions when they're doing any type of purchase action. That's called the buyer's journey from start to finish. So that's even before people start thinking about that purchase to after they make the purchase. Understanding that process is what makes you an effective marketer or salesperson. And I find a lot of real estate agents don't really understand this. And I think it's essentially because we get so focused on the transaction, right? So focused on the business side of things, we forget like the theory and the way we should be doing our overall business strategy to drive more leads. And essentially, some of the conclusions of analyzing the buyer's journey leads us to just, the suggestion that like value-added marketing is the most important thing for a real estate agent that wants to sell their sphere. So every year, NAR does a new home buyer and seller survey. I highly suggest if you just Google search it, NAR home buyer and seller survey, you'll find it. I highly suggest that you read it, go through it, skim it, because it gives you insight into the truth of the way the market really works, the way the behavior of the buyer or seller, your clients are actually functioning overall on average nationally. And this is some of the data I think is the most interesting and revealing. So, in your sphere, you've got two types of people. One, renters. Two, owners, right? So here we're talking about owners. And obviously, this is tenure in previous homes, so the number of years they spent in the house that they're selling, right? On average, the number right here in the green box, 10 years, median. So the average seller has been in their last house for 10 years. If they're younger, it's less. If they're older, it's more. But on average, overall, 10 years between real estate transactions. So, if they're a renter, obviously you don't have that number because they don't own. But what this means, that number 10, is that, the average person in your sphere spends the vast majority of their life not caring about real estate, right? During at least 9 out of every 10 years, a homeowner doesn't care about real estate because real estate is not relevant to them. At some point in year 9, on average, they're going to start thinking about buying and selling, right? But for 9 out of those 10 years, they don't really care about it. And if it's a renter, they also don't care about real estate until probably some life change moves them towards buying. So as real estate agents, it's our job to stay in touch enough with all of our renters and owners that we know to watch for those changes, those shifts in mindset, maybe life changes that would lead us into the shopping process. I guess the point of this is it's a long time, right? Your average homeowner that they're only going to transact every 10 years. So you have 9 years of them not caring about real estate that you need to stay top of mind so that when it comes time to buy and sell, they choose you. Here's some more interesting data from the same 2020 survey. So this is specifically looking at buyers and how those buyers found their real estate agent that they ended up working with. And overall, you can see the top 2 boxes here. 40% were either referred by or directly connected to their agent because they were a friend, neighbor, or relative, or were referred by one of those people. And 13% had previously used that agent. If you look through pretty much all the rest of these, alternatives, ways that they found their real estate agent, none of these imply any prior relationship with that real estate agent. So if you add those two up, that's 53% of agents, 53% of buyers knew the agent or were connected to them in any way before they started working with them. So, simplifying, that's only half of buyers end up working with an agent that they had any amount of trust with or any connection to, which means the rest of the buyers, the other half, are essentially getting eaten up by some big marketing program, right? Some big tech giant that is, acquiring them as a lead and selling it off to some random real estate agent. So at the end of the day, what this means to me is that we are failing at sphere marketing, right? If half of buyers are working with an agent that they have no connection with, that means that half of the buyer market is being dominated by the big tech giants, those guys, they're making money off of the fact that we as agent aren't in touch enough with our sphere to get all of them to use us on our transaction, which to me just speaks to a problem in sphere marketing overall. And that problem is essentially that I think we pretend that everyone is shopping. We pretend that real estate is relevant to people in our sphere all the time, when in reality, we know there's an average 10-year buy-sell cycle. It's probably less than that, but 10 makes the math easy. Average 10-year buyer cycle, only one at most of those 10 years do they care about real estate. So if our marketing focuses on converting the leads, capturing and converting the leads, we're pretending like everybody's way over here, that everybody's shopping. But 90% of the time, 90% of the people in your sphere are not. They don't give a rip about real estate. So the solution is you got to keep people on the hook for 9 years, right? In order to convert them in the end of year 9 to actually using you as their real estate agent. And the best way to keep people engaged over a long period of time via marketing is to add value tirelessly via your marketing. If you want to know how to do that, read Ninja Selling. It's all about focusing on adding value unabashedly and tirelessly to people so that it is easier for them to choose you for a transaction. One of the easiest ways to add value is to be entertaining. We suggested, you'll see that in another video, on our deal marketing mix video. But you should have about 70% of your marketing be focused on being entertaining. It's the easiest way to be value added. So that's being funny, sharing things that are beautiful, helping people dream about, fancy houses, and sharing personal posts. Doing giveaways, it's a good way to add value. I actually believe that in your newsletter, it's almost like a hidden transaction. You're saying, if you will let me to continue marketing to you via my newsletter, I will enter you into my drawing every month for a gift card. It's just like, an agreement that you make. And then probably one of the less effective ways to add value is to be educational about the real estate market. But most of the time, once again, people don't really care. They're going to get bored if all you're posting about is, like, let's talk about jumbo loans or let's talk about the interest rate and that kind of stuff. That's kind of boring. So minimize that type of content, but add value always in your sphere marketing. And that's how you will keep your sphere on the hook, keep them engaged with you for those 9 years they spend out of every 10 when they don't care about real estate. Thank you for your time, for listening. If you have questions about sphere marketing and of our strategies or have recommendations for future video topics, let us know in the comments. Have a good day.